Welcome to Yops Money Live Show. Thank you again for your interest and your support. Today, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know what is your optimal investment return? Yes, what is your optimal investment return? Now, you see, why do I ask you this question? A few days ago, a friend asked me a question and then he shared with me his concern, his dilemma. He said he's actually offered by someone to invest into an investment scheme that offer him 25% return per annum. So he cannot decide whether he should invest or not to invest into such an investment scheme. You see, to go for it, to invest into it, he's concerned about the risk that he needs to take. But if he decides not to invest into it, then he is afraid that he may miss opportunity to get such an attractive return, and that may also delay his opportunity, delay his journey to achieve financial freedom. So basically, to me, the way I look at it, this is an issue, this is a problem of not having a optimal investment return. Okay, what is optimal investment return? Optimal investment return is an investment return that you must achieve in order for you to achieve your financial freedom. So basically, optimal investment return is like a magic number for any one person to have for him to achieve his financial freedom. You see, without knowing your optimal investment return, there will be no direction in your investment decision making, and you can be easily lost in making all this kind of decision. Generally, if someone have got more asset and more saving, then the person will require a lower number of optimal investment return for the person to achieve financial freedom. If a person has got less asset and less saving, the person will require more or higher optimal investment return in order for him to achieve financial freedom. Okay, so how does this optimal investment return apply into your personal wealth management? For example, after all the calculation, you discover that your optimal investment return is actually 8%. Then what you need to do is very clearly is that whether you invest any investment, what you need to make sure that your total investment return that you're getting should be around 8 or 9% for you to achieve your financial freedom. So you see, when you know your optimal investment return is 8%, so you won't invest all of your assets into low risk and low return investment like say Amanah Saham kind of funds or bonds. Because why? Because you know that you'll be getting maybe only 5 or 6% return only. Okay. At the same time also, when you know your optimal investment return is 8%, you also will not be putting all your investment assets into something high risk, high return like private equities. Because even though you know that you may get 30% return, there is also a chance of you to lose 30% of your capital as well. So for that matter, you have a guide as to what to invest and what not to invest. Basically, to achieve 8% kind of optimal investment return, what you can do is to invest into a diversified portfolio, whereby you have got different kind of investment into different asset classes. Okay? By doing so, you'll be able to moderate your risk. You'll be able to actually achieve also a reasonable return about maybe 7 to 9 or 8% kind of return as well. So if you look at it, optimal investment return is like a GPS. It's just like a GPS that guides us to go to our destination. So optimal investment return is a GPS to guide us to make better decision, more accurate decision in our investment decision making. In this section, I will answer the questions that I received from the viewers. Now, I have got questions from Mr. Wong. He is from Sunway. His questions go like this. He said, in episode 3, when you asked if my wealth grow higher than 11%, do you mean my investment portfolio return or my investment portfolio ROI? You see, now, just to refresh the viewers, in episode 3, I talked about my client, on average, they have achieved 11% of total wealth growth. Okay, so to answer Mr. Wong, my answer to you is no. I do not mean investment portfolio ROI. Okay, what I mean is the growth of your total wealth, and to be more exact, net worth. Okay, how do we get net worth? Basically, the way to get net worth is to minus total asset, which includes your house, your shares, your unit trust, your properties, and your other asset that you have, to minus against loan. Then you get your total net worth. So what I mean is that 11% is the return, is the growth my client get for their total net worth. Okay. I don't mean investment return or investment ROI, because investment ROI is very limited. It could mean the growth of your unit trust portfolio. It could mean also the growth of your share portfolio only, and that is pretty limited. Why do I say investment ROI is limited? For example, if your investment ROI is say 15%, but that comprises only 30% of your total wealth, and the balance 70% of your wealth is getting only 4% return. So in total, your total wealth growth is only 7.3%, and that is quite a distance compared to 11% my clients is getting on average. So when we measure our success in wealth management by using a total wealth approach, we will be able to make sure that every asset that we have work hard for us. Okay? We won't forget about some underperforming or idle asset that we have. Like for example, money in the bank, which is like depleted by inflation rate. Like for example, some shares which is underperforming, and we leave it there. So the idea is that when we want to grow money with high certainty, we must look at our total wealth using strategic asset allocation statement. So then only we will be able to make sure that every asset works for us, and that will be proven effective to help us to grow our money with high certainty. If you want me to answer your most burning questions about your money, please WhatsApp me your question or email to me. Okay, I would love to answer your questions. Now, I have a question from my long-time supporter, Mr. JF Yong from Kuala Lumpur. His question is quite long, bear with me. He say, as part of your advice on retirement planning, I have been putting aside 15% of my monthly salary as a saving. And I have diversified my investment into stocks, unit trusts, and properties. Wow, sounds like pretty good students. I'll be retiring this year, and my question is whether I should continue to do the same after retirement, since I do not have any more regular income, or I should start to cash out my investment. Okay. Also, how much medical insurance should I buy? Thank you. Okay, this is a very long question, but first I must congratulate Mr. Yong for being a good student, for religiously putting aside 15% of his monthly salary into saving and into investment. I'm sure that kind of amount would be very helpful, very useful to help him to grow his retirement asset, to fund his retirement lifestyle. You are right, you can't save regularly anymore because you no longer have regular income on a monthly basis. Okay. However, I would suggest you that not to liquidate your investment portfolio and put the money into the bank, okay, to earn an interest rate just because that you are retired now. Assuming your investment portfolio is doing well, so keep it growing. Okay, what you need to make sure is that you be able to manage your portfolio in such a way that it becomes more moderate risk in nature, it is diversified, and is comprised of solid investment assets. Okay, many people, you see, what they do is that they liquidate all the investment assets they have and put this money into fixed deposit, earning interest rate which will be depleted by inflation risk. Okay, so but now you may wonder, if I invest everything I have into an investment portfolio, how do I provide for my retirement living expenses? So my suggestion is that you should actually only liquidate part of your investment portfolio and provide for 3 years of your retirement living expenses as a cash reserve, and park this money into the investment or something like cash or cash equivalent kind of investment asset. So every year you can withdraw your retirement living expenses need from the cash reserve. Once a year, you will top up your cash reserve using the gain or using the profit that you make from the investment portfolio. Okay, so you always make sure your cash reserve can cater for 3 years of your retirement living expenses. So by using this retirement planning kind of methodology, you'll be able to ensure that you always have money to take care of your retirement living expenses, and at the same time you make sure that your investment or your retirement asset can always beat inflation risk. For medical insurance questions, please refer to episode 8 and part 3. I have got a very clear explanation there. Thank you so much for watching. If you wish to learn more about how to grow your money with high certainty, please visit my website. You see, I will be glad if you can actually apply my ideas in your personal wealth. Okay? However, if you need any assistance to apply my ideas in your personal wealth, please feel free to WhatsApp me. Okay? I will get my wealth manager to help you. If you find the video is useful, please comment, like it, or share it. Have a great day. Hey there, if you like my video, please remember to subscribe to my channel.